So there is something I'm a little bit, concerned about when it comes to, the run-up that we're experiencing now with AMC stock. And the truth of the matter is, there have been new buyers and new short sellers all across the journey, on the way down from the 70s and the 50s to the 14s, and now on the way up back to those levels. There is something that will ultimately can happen in the midst of how different people handling their positions here, which to me can officiate as a risk, especially on the short term and depending on how quick we hit certain price levels. All right, so let me explain what I'm talking about. Now, when AMC reached $14 a piece, you could tell that the sentiment, even when we broke below the 20s, the sentiment was really down. Not that people lost hope per se, but they were not as excited, because a huge part of investing and a huge part of trading, holding stocks in this market, especially in this current market, has a lot to do with how your mindset, how your mental, state of mind is, how your psychological state of mind is. And it's not easy, especially if you are not used to having such, a bidding down, especially if AMC is your only stock, or is what introduced you to capital markets here in the US or even around the world. So that being said, because now adrenaline is coming back up, sentiment is getting better and better as we climb the 20s, and we are knocking on the doors of the 30s. I'm expecting few people, especially if they have a decent amount of shares, to start maybe thinking that, I don't want to relive this again, where every single day I open up my account and I see that, I'm down 10% or 15% and nothing actually can justify that drop. Because of that, let me, once I get flat out, once, I reach back to my average cost where I'm not losing money anymore, maybe I need to get out, or at least trim my position, so that if it comes back down, then I wouldn't be as hurt or depressed or stressed out by these drops. Because do not kid ourselves, do not lie to ourselves. Let's not do that. It's not because we've gained 80 to 90% in the last 2 weeks or the last 10 days that it means it's going straight back up to 70s. I mean, don't get me wrong. It has the potential of doing so. Definitely, because we're in the midst of an epic short squeeze. But again, it doesn't prevent new short sellers from coming into the play, all right? Especially if the volume starts drying up, or the market starts turning down. So the bottom line is, nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what AMC will be trading at tomorrow. If you told me yesterday that we'll be trading at 29, I will say, well, yeah, it's possible. I'm sure? No, because I don't know, and I can't predict the future. So because of that, it might at some point, all right, maybe into the 50s or maybe in the 70s, at some point, it might push certain people, certain investors, certain retail investors holding AMC stock for so long and not really seeing what they wanted to see, to start, taking some profits along the way, because they don't want to get hurt if AMC starts going back down again. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to necessarily happen that way, but there is a pretty high chance, because I've been there in the past. I've been there when I started trading stocks, when I started investing in stocks. Every single minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I will look at my account and I will try to see what is happening. But when it comes back down, after you've been kind of hearing from anybody on social media and holding the stock that it's supposed to go to $1,000 to $10,000 to $1 million a share. So if not happening, it's going, the opposite, direction. It gets very stressful. So that's kind of the message I wanted to bring to your attention. Now, on the other hand, we might actually have the opposite of this effect happening, because the way money works, tricks on us, is totally amazing. On the opposite side of things, we might have a different total scenario in which people will start seeing that, why was I even stressing about when this thing was going down? It's going back up, it's going back up fast. So they may regain confidence into the stock and maybe start adding to the actual positions. Like if I had 500 shares and my average was $10, if it went back down to 14 and I didn't add, and it's now double that price, so 29, 28, it gives me the confidence that it may go up again to the 35 to the 50s. So maybe now might be a good time to add, especially if I have some cash sitting on the side. All right. So those will kind of be the both scenarios. I will hope bunch of the majority of AMC holders to actually start thinking or brainstorming as we head back to the road to the new highs. Maybe not the short squeeze in the 3, 4, 5 digits on the share price, but you see what I mean. So let's keep those in mind. And if you were asking yourself these questions, please drop a comment below and we'll take it from there. I'll see you in the next one.